and welcome back. Hope you got a fair idea about infrastructure accessibility. Now let's discuss something about digital accessibility. So to include people with disabilities at workplace, we must ensure that our products and services are fully accessible. Now, since PWDs are millions in India, are we not losing our potential customer base by not making our products and services and even websites accessible? Yes, that's a big thing. Now, let me give you a few accessibility options which people with disabilities use on a daily basis. Now, let me ask you one question. How does a visually impaired use computers? How they access computers? So, yes, they access by use of assistive technology called JAWS and NVDA. JAWS stands for Job Access with Speech and NVDA for Non-Visual Desktop Access. So what is this assistive technology? Assistive technology is a technology which helps people with disability to carry out their task efficiently at the workplace. Now, both these softwares help them to access the website. The way we browse the system or the way we browse the internet, the same thing they also do it. The only difference is that these softwares speaks out the way they browse. So whenever they browse, whenever they navigate to each and every page or they navigate to each and every heading, it just starts speaking out word by word. So this is how they start accessing computers. With respect to deaf, what they do is they use something called Google Transcription app, which translates speech to text. And there are a lot of speech to text apps which is available in the market. And majority of the deaf people they use transcription app. Any idea how does a deaf blind communicate? So when I'm saying deaf and blind, a person who cannot see, who cannot speak, and who cannot hear. Yeah, that's a difficult challenge. Yes, there is something called tactile sign language. So we all know that deaf communicates through sign language, but for a deaf blind they use tactile sign language. Now what is tactile sign language? Again, it's a method to communicate in sign language by using touch. For example, if I have to say do an interpretation, or if I have to talk to a deaf blind person, I have to hold his hand. I have to hold his hand like this, and then I have to communicate in sign language, so that when he holds my hand, he starts feeling my numbers, he starts feeling the alphabets, he starts feeling my signs. And then since he knows the sign language, he signs it back so that I can understand. Now imagine if I have to do an interpretation of a deaf blind person. That's a real challenge altogether. But yes, do we have our customer who are deaf and blind? Now for them, is my website or is my product is accessible for a deaf and blind? That's a bigger picture, right? Now, for people with autism and people with Down syndrome, they use something called augmentative and alternative mode of communication. So this methodology uses only picture-based information, so that they get used to the pictures and they start communicating by selecting the pictures in the app. So there are a lot of apps which is available in the market. Most of the companies they employ people with autism and people with Down syndrome, and they use these kind of apps to help them train and to help them communicate for repeated instructions. Yes. So this is all about the basics of accessibility options for different kinds of disability. So I hope you got a little bit of information about the various aspects of digital accessibility. Next, in my next video, I'm going to talk about website accessibility. So stay tuned. Thank you.